Welcome back to Legendary Sniff. My name's Anthony.
My name is Jack.
And we're here again, back in the wonderful world of Crash Bandicoot. And we'll kill that man.
Did you see I tried to take over the intro there?
Yeah, you can't do that. It's mine.
Because you have a very monotone, welcome back to Legendary Sniff, everyone. And then mine's usually like, welcome everyone, or something like that. Something, something sexy. Just snip it in there.
My hands smell like bleach.
That was not something I would do in front of other people.
Why?
I'm just like, my hands, and then you're just like, smell it.
Tell me I don't have to go through that. Okay, cool.
Why did they smell like bleach, Anthony?
Well, I had to clean my whole house today. Like, it's weird, like...
Do you have to?
Well, like, or else the house gets dirty. It's like, weird. Like, when you're, like, a kid, or, like, or you, like, live with your parents, you
look at me like that?
you,
Mad
like,
rude.
you don't really, like, deal with all, like, the house cleaning unless you have, like, chores. But, like, when it's, like, just me and my girlfriend, I'm like, oh, crap, like... I have 2 dogs, so there's like dog hair everywhere. The house is getting kind of dirty. There's no one else like to clean the house. I have to do it. And like even with a chore, it's like you do the bathroom, your brother will do the kitchen, and like when you own the house, it's like, oh, I have to do all of it. So like the downstairs bathroom is already like clean because like that's the bathroom like anyone will see when they come over. So that one was like is kind of maintained in like a...
Did you have to wipe all the piss driblets on the floor next to your...
Yeah, well, I assume they're all mine, right? Like, because, splashback, bathroom talk episode, whatever.
Unless your girlfriend's getting fucking crazy up there.
And, so I was like, oh, crap, like, so I gotta clean all of it myself. So, like I said before Jack rudely interrupted me, the downstairs bathroom is pretty much, like, maintained... I don't care. It's, like, maintained for cleanliness. The upstairs bathroom like really wasn't, so I cleaned the whole upstairs bathroom. I vacuumed like every like room in the house. I vacuumed down here. You can kind of still see the vacuum marks around.
It looks really good.
It's just like, oh, like it's just weird like having my first house and being like, I have to do all this stuff myself now.
So I know you mentioned people who still live with their parents, just some weird remark that had nothing to do with either of us, just fucking out there like a lunacy. I live in it was a rented apartment. It has its own bathroom and shit.
Like, in this day and age, in all fairness, it's not normal to, like, be moved out of your parents' house so early. Like, how old am I? 26? My girlfriend's 24, and, like,
I'm young.
we, like, own our own house, which, like, I don't think is too normal, like, in this day and age. Houses are so expensive.
Especially, I almost doxed us. Holy shit.
What, you were gonna say in our area?
Yeah.
And you were gonna say what our area is?
I was
especially in this city town street.
This is my neighbor's name and address. But basically no one comes into my living area except me, right? Like no one cleans it. I have to clean it myself.
And the only time you would clean it is when I would be coming over to like hang out. You'd be like, oh wait, I gotta clean my basement, there's clothes everywhere. And I would come over and there would just be a pile of clothes in your room, like it wasn't even cleaned, it was just transferred to another spot.
What's worse is so I quit drinking, right? And when I was drinking, I would drink beer and like a large amount of them, right? And like each beer is a can, right? And I have this neurotic tendency where I have a fucking bag sitting there, like that I could toss the can in, reach and put the can in it. No, what I do is I take the empty can and I just put it on my desk. And so I've stopped drinking at this point. I drink seltzers, but I'm still doing the same thing, which is I finish a seltzer, put it on my desk, and then just forget about it. And what that turns into is eventually I'm sitting there surrounded every surface around me just covered in fucking cans. and I have to like talk to end users on the phone as like an IT person, and there has been times where I like turn and hit my table, and it's like of like 50 cans like shaking and like hitting each other and shit, and I'm just like, they think that I'm swimming in beer cans at my house, like drunk as shit, working from home. Yeah, I had to, especially with COVID, it's getting tougher to like care, like put work into like maintaining yourself and like your area around you.
Well, like, are you going into the office?
No.
Yeah, so like, we're recording now, and Jack has like work tomorrow morning. But like, all you gotta do is get out of bed. Like, you don't have to go to the office. Like,
So there's no like, no one's gonna see me. So if I'm like doing degenerate things like eating Milanos at 9 in the morning, like no one.
like our friend, a couple of our friends like work at the same company, and like they have to go into like work every once in a while. But when they're not, they're at home and they're playing League of Legends like with me. He's like, oh, maybe I'll get some work done. One more game.
Well, what I'm finding out is that you can. My job, I'm paid 9 hours, one of them being lunch or whatever, to work from home. I can do pretty much the entire expected amount of work within an hour and 20 minutes. And then you have 8 hours that you're just sitting there still. And like, I'll just play Ark or whatever the fucking game.
Hello? This is not fun.
Then you get to your like manager review and they're like, you're doing great, really good stuff. It's like, thank God. Got some nice teams in Ark going on.
I remember when I worked at like my like first like high school into like college job was at Old Navy, and their review was, this is how many Old Navy cards you got us, get us more.
Yeah.
Like the like store credit card, that was all they cared about. I remember once I had this woman and my manager was standing next to me while I was ringing this woman out, and because I would never ask people for Old Navy cards, because like when you're at a store, you hate it, right? When like the person like asks if you want the store credit card, because you're just gonna be like, no, I don't care. Like, can you just ring me out?
I obviously don't want your fucking credit card. Like,
but like with when the like manager was there, I had to do it, or else she'd like be like, why didn't you ask that person for a card? And so there was one time where there was this woman, and I asked her like every like 3 seconds if she wanted a card, just because like my manager was just because my manager was there. So like at like the third time I asked her, like I was using all these tactics, I was like, would you like to sign up for an Old Navy card and save 15% of your purchase? No. Okay. And then like I'm ringing her out, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, you're kind of like, I wasn't saying you're spending a lot of money, but I was like, you'll save X amount if you do. No. I was like, all right, well, like, here's your total. If you sign up for the Old Navy card, you'll actually save this amount. Like, finally, she was just like, yeah, I'll sign up for it. And my manager was like, I want you to teach a class on how to like get people to sign up for Old Navy cards, because that was amazing. And I was like, no, like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, what?
God, no, kill yourself. Well, the credit cards are such a fucked thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I worked at Toys R Us at one point, and we had Toys R Us credit cards. And, like, the only reason they care is because, like, managers get a bonus based on store-wide numbers of the credit cards being sold, right?
And, like, if we... I almost kind of gave away our area, but, like, our Old Navy was, like, one of, like, the, like, highest grossing Old Navies, but we were also one of the... So we were like one of the highest grossing. We were in the top 25 Old Navies that exist, but we were at the bottom of getting Old Navy cards.
Yeah. Well, the reason they want you to get people to get the cards is fucked. And it's because if you put like $100 on the card, right, and you forget to make a payment, or you don't pay the full amount or whatever, the interest rate is like,
it's like
26% or something. Like some fucking insanely high number that basically, like, they're just preying on stupid people.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I was gonna say something. Oh, I remember once, one of my like, not even managers, one of my like my supervisor was standing next to me, and I didn't ask the person for an Old Navy card, and afterwards she pulls me aside and she goes, "Why didn't you ask that person for like if they wanted an Old Navy card?" I was like, "Cause they always say no." She was like, all right, but like just make sure you're doing it. It's like, all right,
It's like, thanks.
just being honest.
There's a lot of stupid shit that goes on in like a retail position like
Yeah,
that.
like everyone's like, oh, retail sucks. Like it does. Like okay, speed run time. Like
It's so nice to be past that
yeah,
point.
like
holy shit.
it's like it was horrible. I remember I had like my resume and stuff up on Indeed because I was looking for like a job at one point out of like maybe out of college, and so like on my resume obviously it says I worked like 3.5 years at Old Navy, and some woman from like some like retail store, I don't remember what retail store it was, but she was like, oh, I saw your resume on Indeed and I saw your like experience in retail. I was hoping you would come and work for our store. I was like, holy crap, no. Like I just didn't respond to her.
Not only that, fuck you, fuck yourself, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Also, right out of college, I was signing up for jobs. I won't say what industry or what I was doing, but I went to an interview for this job. I thought it went like really well, and she's like, all right, like we'll contact you next week to let you know whether you got the job or not. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like pretty sure I was gonna get that job, so I didn't go to another interview, and then I ended up going to another interview, and the dude offered me the job on the spot, and I accepted, and that's actually where I ended up meeting my girlfriend. But a month later, this company that said that they would contact me next week contacts me and was like, so that position's still open if you want it. Like I was like, you said next week, it's been a month. It was literally like they had like a yes or no like box that I could check, and I checked no and sent it back to her.
I've been there. I had my first tech job was the most dog shit, horrible job I've ever had. It was owned by a Greek dude who his only voice was screaming at you. And like he'd come out and just fucking ream people like with customers on the phone.
Was this at like I'm trying to say the company name.
Yeah, it's foods.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
That's why I was like making an eating motion.
It has, you could find it has like 1-star reviews on Glassdoor. Everyone's like, "Fuck this company! It's a horrible place to work." Everyone was nice except the CEOs, but like, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't talk money, but like, I got hired there and really had like, no background tech experience, and was getting paid like just above minimum wage, and
that's where my first job like was. Like not the Old Navy job, the out of college job. I was like getting paid like barely above minimum wage.
Yeah, but so 3 months in, like surprisingly enough, in a horrible, fucked up environment like that, it's sink or swim. I learned like a lot, like really fast. Like I was getting tech experience. 3 months later, another place called me and were like, "Hey, so like we saw your resume and sorry it's 3 months later, but like do you want to do an interview?" I'm like, "Sure." They paid me like literally 3 times as much. And not only that, but I was like, "Oh yeah, in the meantime, in this 3 months I've been working at this company, this is what I've been doing." And they're like, "That's fucking great. That's what we need you to be doing." So God, that second job was nice. It's that one, right? It's like certain farm. Like
Yeah, when I got. But you're in your third job now?
tech job, yeah.
Yeah. Like when I got my job, like my current. Fuck! How do I kill those?
You slow no.
No, but like when I got my like
You can't kill them. You just have to avoid them.
Current job, I was able to save up enough money to buy a fucking house. Like when you get that, when you hopefully get that real job, like it's night and day. Like going from like a minimum wage job to like, oh, I have money that I can spend now. Like me and Jack, when we want to make like stupid, like frivolous purchases, like we'll literally just look at each other and be like, I'm an adult with an adult job, I can buy this. Like, because like when we were kids it was like, oh, like I want 1,200 Microsoft points, that's way too much money, like I gotta ask my mom. And now it's just like, I'm an adult with adult money, I can do what I want.
Yeah. Especially like, oh, I want a $40 Magic the Gathering fat box. Way too much money, unheard of.
Or I want a
And
$600 65-inch 4K TV. So I'll buy it and we'll use it for Legendary Sniff.
At this point in my life, like, if someone pisses me off in traffic, I'll roll down my window, crumble up $100 bill, and be like, "Hey, fuck you."
I have to get past this part just because it's... Alright, I'll just die. We'll see. I'll get through that next time on Legendary Sniff.
Later.